Errol Spence Jr. ended his social media hiatus on Monday by sharing a series of posts and developments. Errol Spence Jr. posted a video on Instagram announcing that he had cataract surgery. The former unified welterweight champion went on X for the first time since August to further address his first career loss to Terrence Crawford on July 29th, where Terrence Crawford dominated Spence during the undisputed welterweight title, and he dropped him 3 times. And I want to get on here and give my thoughts about pretty much everything Errol Spence Jr. came and talked about, and also, the fact that I feel like he's been giving Terrence Crawford a lot of credit. I know a lot of people saying he's making excuses and excuses. That word excuse has been thrown around a lot, but I want to give my thoughts right here on the original Gym Boxing. So Errol Spence Jr. responded to claims on X that Crawford was simply a better fighter than he was, and he was a one-trick pony. And Errol Spence Jr. was basically saying, you might be right, I'm a one-trick pony, but I got Olympics. He says, got Olympics, kids in private school, mom and pops retired years ago, passport filed with stamps, and he says, I don't have to pick up a glove again if I don't want to. I'm pretty sure most of y'all already heard this, but Errol Spence Jr. was going back and forth with the fans, and a lot of fans out here in the sport of boxing, man, in my personal opinion, are really, really rude and disrespectful. A lot of boxing fans are rude and disrespectful, and I think the majority of the people that's typing and talking online, they wouldn't dare pick up gloves. And that's not all of y'all, but that's a lot of y'all. And I know, because I've actually put on a few fights, in my life where I had to put up a ring and let some folks get in there. Anybody who wanted to get in the ring, I let them get in the ring, and you'll be so surprised at how much people shy away from grabbing them gloves. You'll be so surprised. A lot of people talk, and they want to fight, but as soon as when it's time to grab those gloves, a lot of people don't talk. And I think that's pretty much what Errol Spence is pretty much getting at in all of his arguments back and forth with the fans. My personal opinion, I believe Errol Spence Jr. has given Terrence Crawford a ton of credit throughout this whole situation. He's given Terrence Crawford more respect than a lot of fans have given to the sport of boxing. They disrespect Errol Spence Jr. They disrespect the sport. Even though Errol Spence lost the fight, he still showed he was a true champion. He still got in there, and he fought to the very last second that he could until, the ref stopped the fight. He did his thing. So a lot of people are talking, going on, and a lot of people, believe that Errol Spence Jr. should retire, but he also shut that down as well. And I'm going to get into a little bit more of this article. He said it's cool. The Spence family appreciates them if they've been paying to watch a one-trick pony. He says, no bullshit. The first 3 months, I was waiting for someone to publicly say something out of pocket in front of me. I was vulnerable to a lawsuit or something else around that time. So he's basically saying he was waiting on somebody to say something out of pocket, and he was going to get on. He was going to get hands and feet. He says some of y'all forget, what the shit really is, really, for until you're 37 years old trying to make a comeback, 10% of what you used to make. And then he says, all that, you can kill that retirement shit though. Yeah, I got my ass beat. Shit was past due. I didn't really, he says, I didn't live exactly like a boxer for the most part. So we know, Errol Spence Jr. has had situations in the past. We talk about this in a lot of our videos. He's had issues, outside of the ring, drinking, and who knows what all Errol Spence Jr. was doing. He had that near fatal car crash on October 10th, back in, I believe it was 2019, right after the Sean Porter fight. I was actually at that fight right before, and as soon as I got back home to Florida, that's when I noticed. I see the news about him crashing and all of that. So it was kind of crazy, man. But we know Errol Spence hasn't really, been living the boxer lifestyle as much as he should have. But you still got to give these fighters a lot of credit. He gets in there, he hits the gym, he gets in shape, and he always makes weight. So you got to give respect to that. He comes out, he puts on great performances, entertains the fans and stuff like that. So I understand a lot of people are going to say he's making excuses, but there's a lot of other things that they would have said if he wouldn't have took the fight as well. And I seen a comment under a video by YouTube channel. I don't know if he actually does videos, but it says Green Villain Mike. He says, I see people saying that they agree, but they say, well, he was basically saying if he would have had the surgery before the fight, everybody would have said he was ducking, or the injury was fake, or he can't make weight, or maybe Crawford, go another route and Spence miss another payday like he did for the Manny fight. Either way it go, it's a lose-lose situation for Errol Spence. It doesn't really matter, in my opinion, what he would have did. If he would have postponed the fight, or if he would have, got the surgery before the fight, they would have basically just said, he was ducking. They would have said all these things. But credit to Errol Spence for stepping in that ring anyway and taking the fight regardless of what everybody else was saying. So the rest of the comment goes on and says, I think he went into that fight expecting to lose because he didn't want to miss another payday for his family. Only time will tell if that's an excuse or a fact. You will either have to win the next fight or look way better than the first fight. And I have to totally agree with that comment. I understand there's a lot of things that Errol Spence Jr. has came out and said recently. But in my personal opinion as well, and I'm pretty sure y'all think the same, with everything going on, the eye surgery and all of that, in this second fight, whenever they do the rematch, he's going to have to look a whole ton of a lot better. He's going to have to make sure, this doesn't happen again or anything close to it in order for the fans to have any kind of respect for any of the things he's talking about right now. So it wouldn't make any sense for him to, have the surgery, show everybody his eye and say, how you think I was missing so many jabs, or I didn't see that many jabs and hooks. If he gonna come out here and basically, stink it up a second time. So I don't think that'll happen. I made a video talking about how I believe Errol Spence Jr. will look better in the second fight. I think he's gonna come in there and do something completely different than what he did in the first fight. That's just my opinion. I think boxing is a business. I think there's some things that we don't know behind the scenes. I always talk about this even back in the day. We know these fighters go out there, they put their lives on the line and all of that, entertaining the fans. But I definitely understand that this is a business. And, they ended to make a lot of money. Errol Spence Jr. has a lot of fans. Terrence Crawford, to me, seemingly is starting to have a lot of, fans more recently than he used to. I've been covering boxing on YouTube since I think the end of 2016, early 2017. And I've never seen Terrence Crawford have this many fans as he did leading up right around the time of the Errol Spence fight is when I seen the majority of Terrence Crawford fans come out. Right around like 2020, 2021 is when I started seeing it happen. So, and I even had I had a dude at my house during the party that I had. He came in the house, and he basically was saying he didn't even know who was fighting or what was going on. But right as the fight started to happen, and he started to see the people in my house cheering for Errol and stuff like that, he automatically turned into a Terrence Crawford fan out of the blue. just start rooting against Errol, out of the blue, just because everybody was rooting for Errol. So it's like, I think a lot of boxing fans, a lot of Crawford's fans, they don't like Errol Spence fans, so they just start rooting for Crawford and saying they've been Crawford fans for day one. But I've been covering boxing for a while, and I can tell you Errol Spence had a lot more fans than Terrence Crawford for the majority of how I've been covering boxing on YouTube. So I know a lot of Terrence Crawford fans are new. I get it. He's a hell of a fighter, but a lot of these dudes be out here talking like they just been rocking with Crawford since day one. And Crawford really didn't have a lot of fans, man. He really didn't. Okay, it was only a few people, a very select few people rocking with Terrence Crawford. And now you just have a whole sea of people, rocking with Terrence Crawford. But I get it. If you just rocking with the fighter you think is the best, I respect that. But let's not sit up here and act like you just been a Terrence Crawford fan and you just been rocking with him since the days he had the locks, because most of y'all wasn't. But yeah, man, I don't think Errol Spence Jr. should. I don't think he should retire. He said he's not retiring. So I think we're gonna see a lot more. And I respect Errol Spence for even trying to get back in there. Even after the fight, he dapped up Crawford and said, "Hey man, we gotta do it again." You know what I'm saying? And he kept saying, "We're gonna do it again." So you gotta respect any fighter that'll lose at that magnitude and still be ready to get back in the ring and still be ready to put it all on the line to go out there and redeem himself, man. So you gotta respect Errol Spence Jr. for that. I do. And yeah, so that's pretty much what I got for this video, man. I really appreciate everybody for checking into the video. I'm gonna try to drop a few more videos here shortly. If you guys new to the channel, I invite you to subscribe, hit the bell icon, all of that good stuff so you'll be notified. We will be dropping more content. Much love, peace, and blessings to everybody checking into the channel. This your boy Get a Mic. This Gym Boxing. Now I'll be back with more content.